Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to our 1 hour teaching on the Apache Stronghold. My name is Margaret Prescott. I am on Chumash land, unceded Chumash land at the moment. We'd like to welcome all of you. Thank you for joining us. I am part of the California Poor People's Campaign Coordinating Group. I'm also the convener of the Policy and Education Working Group that's hosting this teaching today. The Women's Network, I'm part of the Global Women's Strike. We're partners of the National Poor People's Campaign. I'd like to welcome all of you and turn it over to Kenya Alcocer. Kenya.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kenya Alcocer. I'm also part of the coordinating committee here in the California Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, and one of the tri-chairs of the National Steering Committee of the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival. We are here very excited that we're standing in solidarity with the Apache Stronghold, and we just want to welcome you and welcome everybody to this so we can learn and we can continue this fight together.
Thank you, Kenya. In our tradition, we always begin with prayers, and we'd like to Stephanie Mushrush from the Chumash Nation.
Oh, thank you. Hunga Maheji, Stephanie Digumdiat Kalei. Hello, how are you all? My name is Stephanie. I'm actually from the Washoe Nation of Northern Nevada and California, and I'm honored to open this up in prayer as we are going to be learning about this very important spiritual movement affecting our relatives and our communities. I'm going to turn my camera off. Dagmigies miwegayangai wat dialai tovangar umaangwi lagalamit magalam shamoy. Thank you, Creator, for this beautiful day, the clear air and the beautiful mountains that we see in the distance, and just thankful for this time that we're coming together to gather in community, gather as relatives to learn about this sacred spiritual movement to save Chichilbadagutil in Arizona, to learn how to support our Apache and Nez relatives, and to pray for Nagosan, our Mother Earth, and Nantashu, and to pray for the future generations as well as those yet to be born, to pray for our ancestors who've come before us, and to pray for ourselves that we can take this time to learn how to come together in a good way and to do things just with all of these things in mind, the Mother Earth, all of the medicines and the water and the land and the air that we still have connection to, Creator. And thank you so much for this time. And all of these people here with open hearts and open minds. Oh, thank you. So I just wanted to say, I also wanted to encourage, I know Margaret already mentioned the territory that she's on. I mentioned that I'm on Tovangar, which is unceded ancestral Tongva land, which is so-called Los Angeles. And so just keeping in mind all of the territories upon which we reside, gather, and pray, and knowing where you are and whose land you are on, or who are the ancestral stewards of that land. And so thinking of land acknowledgement, always extending and bridging to land back, return of land and stewardship, as well as water rights and all of the things that go with that. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And we are now going to Virginia. Hollis Davidson from the Bay Area Poor People's Campaign will share a song with us. Virginia.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm on unceded Ohlone land. Pray, oh,
just a little while longer. Pray on, just a little while longer. Pray on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Sing on, just a little while longer. Sing on, just a little while longer. Sing on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Fight on, just a little while longer. Fight on, just a little while longer. Fight on, just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Stand together, fight on, hold on. Everything gonna be all right.
Well, thank you so much, Virginia, for that. That was so beautiful. My name is Abraham Enton. I am on unceded Pomo land in Santa Rosa, California. And right now we're going to have the opportunity to view a video which will give us some background on the struggles of the Apache Stronghold. So we'll turn it over to the video.
In February of 2021, Native American tribes from across Arizona made history, traveling hundreds of miles by foot in a 4-direction prayer run to Oak Flat. This coming together of tribes at a holy site was a powerful moment not seen in nearly 200 years.
This trauma is being broken down. These barriers, these obstacles are being broken because our resiliency stays intact. But that's because we had the land. That's because we can come here.
Traditionally called Chichil Betagotel, Oak Flat is a sacred place, a life-giving oasis where Western Apaches and other Native peoples lived and prayed for centuries. This land is critical to their modern-day religion and culture, but soon will be privatized and later destroyed by the proposed Resolution Copper Mine through a controversial land swap bill passed in 2014.
It's fighting for my future children because in Apache religion, we have to tell it orally, or we have to take them to the place and teach it to them what it means to be in the people and what it means to survive, to tell those stories, to sing the songs, to speak the language. It's all intact to Nago Sun, the earth. It's all intact and embedded into Chichil here. And so when I think about Resolution Copper taking away Oak Flat, that means it's taken away our life, it's taken away our history and our future.
Nalin Pike is a young Apache woman whose family led a formal return to Oak Flat by her people after generations of forced captivity on the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation.
Hell's 40 acres is what the Calvary called it. We were at constant gunpoint, not allowed to practice our religion, not allowed to practice our ceremony, not allowed to speak our language. It was only in the 1970s when we were allowed to vote.
Today, the Apaches once again hold traditional ceremonies at Oak Flat and are determined to preserve this place, which is their direct connection to the Creator.
There's so many things that our people have that we bury here. Without this place, without Oak Flat, we couldn't practice the way of life that we practice today.
This spiritual connection to the land is the essence of traditional Apache religion. The holy grounds, burial sites, and sacred springs at Oak Flat facilitate Apache worship and prayers, just like the churches and relics found in other faiths.
Our religion is no different. Our gone people are the same as what you call angels. Our mounds are the same as you speak of Mount Sinai. Those things are critical in your religion as it is in ours.
Dr. Winslow Nosey Sr. is Nalin's grandfather and a longtime leader in the spiritual battle to save Oak Flat. He has worked tirelessly to educate the public and their elected officials about the value of this place. He's also united tribal and spiritual leaders across the nation and is spearheading a legal challenge to the mine that hopes to secure wider protections for Native American sacred sites.
If you look at everything we've done politically, legally, bringing that information out to the public, we've done it all. They cannot turn away and say that they knew nothing of this place.
Why does our religion as Apache people have to be on trial?
In January, Winslow and the Apache Stronghold organization sued the United States, arguing that through the land transfer at Oak Flat, it had violated the Apache people's constitutional right to religious freedom.
These prehistoric places means our identity, means our religion, means a sense of belonging. You cannot wash that away. That tells me that the Constitution needs to be modified, needs to be looked at so that it really includes everyone.
After a preliminary hearing, a district court judge in Phoenix denied an injunction to prevent the land transfer. The Apaches appealed this verdict and intend to go to the Supreme Court if necessary. But without this injunction, the Apaches had mere weeks before Oak Flat would be privatized. And once Resolution Copper owns the land, it loses many federal environmental protections, and public access for religious ceremonies is no longer guaranteed. The other destructive impacts of this mine have been outlined in the previous 3 videos of this series, along with the stories of those most directly impacted. Now, the public is speaking up more than ever to protect our environment and the religious freedom of our nation's first peoples.
We have this time and opportunity to step forward. You cannot turn your back on a place that's going to be murdered.
On March 1st, after strong public pressure, the Tonto National Forest withdrew the final environmental impact statement for the mine just 10 days before the land swap was to take place. This was a major victory for the Apaches, but only provided temporary protection. An act of Congress, such as the Save Oak Flat Act, introduced by Congressman Grijalva, is required to permanently undo the land transfer.
The people that want to do the right thing, they need help. They need the voices of America. But if we say nothing, then they have no alternative that yet again, they're going to listen to corporations, capitalism, and it's going to destroy the very environment that we all live in. And then it's going to destroy the oldest religion.
With over 500 indigenous tribes, 200 organizations, and the majority of public comments in opposition to this mine, allowing the project to continue is clearly not in the public's best interest. It benefits the 2 largest mining companies in the world while destroying an indigenous religious site that should be protected for future generations.
I'm always staying optimistic and I'm always having hope that this country will change, that diversity and the acceptance of diversity and of our own cultural stories will be accepted finally.
Ahia, hatin ko niya, uste ko. Kaunan, hatin ko niya, staus I. Push it here. Ahia ko kaunan. So I just thank the Creator that if you're coming, that He watches over you, be with you here, so that we can protect the environment. But not only that, our holy place, our deities, our historical history, and ongoing way of life.
I'd like to welcome Kenya Alcocer to introduce our first panelist from the Apache Stronghold.
Yes, it's been an honor to be in the struggle with Vanessa with the Poor People's Campaign and National Call for More Revival. We've testified together in front of Congress, so it's a real pressure to really introduce. So Vanessa Nosey is a dedicated, loving mother of 4 daughters, a matriarch in protection of her tribal ancestral home, and sacred places and community organizer. Vanessa has always been active and present for her community and people, hold positions such as co-chair of the Basie Sacred Organization, member of the Mountain and Spirit Runners Protect and conducting sacred ceremonies upon Mount Graham, and founding member of the Youth Advisor Native Youth Unite, member of the Poor People's Campaign and National Call for More Revival, organizing member of the Apache Stronghold. Vanessa has spoken before Congress and in multitude of conferences. Vanessa still humbly returns to her lands in which she was raised and continues to honor and protect the place and culture of homes, that home being where her grandmother was born and raised. By example, Vanessa continues to be at service. Welcome, Vanessa.
And I'd also like to welcome Dr. Leanne Bighorse, getting the message she will speak first. Thank you, Kenya. And Dr. Leanne Bighorse is a member of the Apache Stronghold, a nonprofit community organization of individuals who've come together in unity to battle continued colonization, defend holy sites, and freedom of religion, and are dedicated to building a better community through neighborhood programs and civic engagement. Dr. Bighorse is also an American University of Sovereign Nations professor of Native American Studies, bioethics, and decolonization. Dr. Bighorse also serves as project director of the San Carlos Apache Wellness Center in Arizona. Dr. Leanne Bighorse, welcome.
Tagoda, she Dr. Leanne Bighorse Gonze, she 7 mile you gonchli, she Twitter jitney inchli. Shema Teresa Nosey, Shata Winsler Nosey Sr. Thank you. First, we just want to thank you for welcoming us to your webinar today for the policy and education for the Poor People's Campaign. And right now, we're in our vehicle. We're on our convoy. We're on our spiritual convoy to the Ninth Circuit Court. The convoy began on Saturday from Oak Flat. On Saturday, we had our personal day of prayer, where we came together and we prayed at our holy places at Oak Flat. And we went up to Apache Leap and we offered prayers there. And we hiked 3.5 miles up to Apache Leap. And, you know, our area has been experiencing forest fires, wildfires. And then the rains came and flooded the area. And then through all of that, it's like the earth has recleansed itself, because when we walked up through the canyon, it was beautiful. Everything was growing again. And just by that simple example, we see the gift of life and how water can renew the land and the area. And me and my sister and our family, we went to the top and we prayed there. And it's this incredible feeling. It's really hard to describe, but it's this feeling where you're so small in a huge place and you realize that you're just a piece of creation, and that there's this whole universe that was created as well. And you have this feeling like you're blessed that, you know, how could the creator remember to, you know, create me as well? You know, when all of this beauty and the nature and all these animals and this life was created. And so that's the best way I can explain that feeling of being at Oak Flat and praying in our homelands. As Indigenous people, we recognize that our and I appreciate
Stronghold.
Yes, Apache Stronghold. Thank you. We are, you know, the way we were raised is that you always acknowledge the first peoples that are from the area, from the land that you're on. And where we come to today, we're in Takina land, which is the Oatam people. So we're in the Phoenix metropolitan area. And on this journey, we're going from our traditional homelands at Oak Flat, and we're following our black stones, and we've gone to the Tucson area. We were there yesterday. In Tucson, we were welcomed by the Tonaotam, and we were welcomed to their holy place, their sacred mountain, which is a mountain. And that's where the University of Arizona has put a very large A there, claiming the mountain. And what was amazing was that the Tonaotam, they came and they went to the mountain and they reclaimed it. And they invited us there to be with them. And it was really powerful. And we were very blessed to be welcomed in their land. And then we went to the Southside churches in Tucson, where a whole group of different faiths and religions came together to welcome us at the Southside Church, Southside Presbyterian Church. And they fed us, and they offered prayers, on our journey for the protection of our people, the message that we carry. And it was truly incredible, because here we are making this convoy, spiritual convoy, with prayer. And we come from our homelands and we enter into other Native peoples' indigenous homelands. And we're coming with respect and prayer. And the doors are opening. And the way it was explained to us by our father, it's like walking through different corridors. You have to come with respect and know the elements as you come in, and you respect all living things as you walk through. And they'll greet you if you come in the right way. And this morning, we've been with the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community this morning here in the Phoenix metropolitan area. And they welcomed us into the community, into their Oraski, which is their home. It felt really good to just, make sure that we're united as a people on this journey. Our vision is that, as it was in the beginning of our people, we had one drum, one prayer, and one circle. And we defended all of humanity with one prayer, one drum, and one circle. And what's so important about that is, as we come through the different territories from our homelands to the Ninth Circuit Court, is we're coming together in prayer, and we're uniting the people in prayer. And so as we come through, we're being welcomed by all these different tribes and communities, and different religious people are coming and joining with us and standing with us. And it's a truly incredible feeling. We grew up as a spirit of the mountain runners. From a young age, we've run from the confinements of our reservation off to our holy places to pray. So we have that understanding and that teaching. And with that, it's a whole different experience to get in a car and drive somewhere versus walking somewhere and coming in prayer. So that's how we were raised. So we're following in the footsteps of our father. We're learning, we're growing every day. And I just feel truly blessed to speak to you all today. Thank you for having us. Thank you for understanding why this is important to us. This is our father's life's work. And we are uniting to fight this evil that exists. When we talk about this evil, it's really difficult to put into words. And the best way that it can be described is that when you're a prayerful person, it feels like everything's trying to distract you. It's trying to make you lose focus. And so, one of the things that I continue to pray for is to make sure that I stay focused and I keep moving forward in a good way. As we come from our homelands where it's like peaceful and there's serenity, and you can hear the wind, you can feel the sun, all these things that are natural and God's creation. And then you come down into the city where we are now. We're in the middle of the city right now. And we are on the traditional homelands of the O'odham, but there's a city that's here now. Many of their holy places have been desecrated, and they're in this. Their reservation is very, very small, and so they're put in the middle of the city. And here, so a whole different experience when I pray, because I'm surrounded by planes flying overhead and traffic and ambulances and fire trucks and all these different things that can easily distract you. And so I see the difference. But when I close my eyes and I can think of where I am, I'm in these holy places. I'm at Mount Graham and Oak Flat, and I remember the clean air and all these things that are important, and why we continue to fight as people. And our journeys, here in the Phoenix area right now, the O'odham land, and we journey to the Peeposh, and we have a Brophy College prep that we're visiting, and on this journey, we're being welcomed, and we're so grateful. We'll be traveling into California and then up to the Bay Area. And all of these tribes, all these communities that we're going through, we're in the same situation. The federal government has put us in a situation that makes us choose between corporations and advancement and progression and who we are as a people, makes us look at how we want the future for our children. And, I have 3 little ones. I have my baby who's 3, and I think about how life is going to be for him when he grows up. And I'm blessed that he's with us on this journey. We have our children with us. They're learning as well. And I feel like that's what we can do. We can pray and we can teach our children the best way we know how, the difference between what's good and bad. And we can continue to try to fight that evil that exists out there, that's destroying our environment and our water, that's using up all of our water, and is putting our religious beliefs and our way of life on trial. So we journey to the 9th Circuit Court in prayer. On Thursday, the 21st, we ask that people, around the world, wherever you are, if you could stand with us in prayer. If you, one drum, one prayer, one circle, pray with us, sing with us, from wherever you are. We will be gathering at the Civic Center in San Francisco, and we'll be praying there, offering prayers there as well. But it doesn't matter, where you are, what time of day it is, please remember Oak Flat in your prayer. I am going to hand it over to my sister, Vanessa. She's an incredible mother. I know you've heard her daughters talk in various conferences and just everywhere. And she has taught them respect. She has taught them when it's time to listen, when it's time to learn. And they've just absorbed the culture, and they know who they are. And my children are younger, and I'm so blessed that their cousins, are helping, because in our family, we help each other. And that's what it's going to take, is those young ones, those little ones, for them to absorb and learn, because even if we think they're not listening, they are. So I feel good that our children are on this journey with us. And this is my sister, Vanessa Nosey. Here.
First, I want to thank my sister, Leanne. She's the oldest, so it's an honor for her to feel and think of me in such high regards. Because as a family, we grow together, we learn together, we make mistakes together, and we share that love and support. So, I'm really grateful to have an older sister such as Leanne that has really set that example for the rest of us. But so thank you, and thank you all for being on this Zoom meeting, this listening session, and to hear our struggles, to hear how important Oak Flat is, and how it's going to take all of us to come together, no matter what face you are, and no matter what color you are, that we're all in jeopardy. Because as an Indigenous woman, as an Indigenous person, this human being that has received a blessed gift from Creator, from God, of our religion and our way of life is at stake. And it's everything happens for a reason. And for us, for Leanne and I to be on this Zoom meeting with you all at this moment is important, because we just got word from DC that the Save Oak Flat Act that was going to be attached to the reconciliation budget bill was just pulled. And we hear that Congressman Tom O'Halloran was behind it, from it not being to have it removed out of the reconciliation bill. And then, to hear that Arizona Senator Mark Kelly had something to do with it not being attached to the National Defense Authorization Act. And so our hearts are hurt, because when I sit with the Poor People's Campaign, when we have these discussions, and everyone across the world that has witnessed racism, that has witnessed injustice, my people, my Indigenous people, my Apache people have continually witnessed and have felt the discrimination and the injustice since colonialism happened. We're talking over 500 years when the settlers came in and murdered and raped and imprisoned our people. That still exists today. When you hear that the Save Oak Flat Act that was placed to protect the Indigenous people, that was placed to protect the Apache people, that was to protect all people, because no one can live without clean air. No one can live without water. And so when that bill is pulled, that shows that the United States is still sitting on the lies of how America was founded, because the Indians can't win. The Native people cannot be acknowledged, and their religion cannot be acknowledged, because that means that we were here. It's that decision of over making morals and right decisions based on a decision of greed and evil. We've talked a lot about when our leaders are going to make a moral decision based on our people, all people, because what's happened to the Indigenous people imprisoning us is now on all of us. It's just not on the Indigenous community. Everyone faces that systematic racism. But remember, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They took what they did to the Indigenous people and placed it on all people. This fight is for all of us. How can a foreign mining company come in and be exempt from all federal laws, all laws that were placed to protect Mother Earth, that was placed to protect our future, be wiped? A foreign mining company that none of their resources that they say that it's going to provide is going to stay here. When is actual change going to happen? It's going to take all of us, each and every one of us, to come together, like the vision behind this convoy, as it was in the beginning: one drum, one prayer, one circle. We must defend humanity again with that one drum, the one prayer, that one circle. Because now they're relying on our court case. All those that are in support to save Oak Flat is relying on this court case. So we need everyone to come together, everyone to show support, everyone's prayer. We need that one arrow that carries all of us to hit that oldest evil that's in this world. We call him Eden, that trickster. He's known by Lucifer and so many other names throughout this world that's there lurking. We ask that you continue to come with us and support us and pray for us and pray with us, because as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, my job is to continue to pass on our oral history, to continue to pass down our religion, our way of life, to defend and protect my children. But now in this time and age, I'm not just doing that for my own family and my own people. I'm doing it for everyone in this world. Because if my religion is at stake, so is yours. If a foreign mining company can come in and it be exempt and take ownership of US soil, that means that everyone is at risk, no matter who you are. It goes back to that greed of profit over moral values. I need everyone to continue to pray, but also reach out to our Congress people, no matter where you at. Tell your senators, tell your congressmen that this is wrong. Would they allow it if it happened to their people? Would they allow it if it was in their backyard, in their front door? But no, the truth reality is that they're gonna have to admit that they not only lied to the indigenous people, but they lied to everyone. That misconception of how America was founded, that deceit. And they're scared to come out, but they can. That's where we need to heal as people, as one, in order to have a better future for our children and those yet to be born. Just as Leanne, being a mother of 3 beautiful children, I'm a mother of 4. My oldest is 22 and my youngest is 1. I've seen my 3 older kids have to take on the fight. It's going to be passed on to that next generation. They're going to have to stand in the front and carry it for all people. But I worry about my youngest. She's so little. What kind of world is going to be left for her? As an Apache, it's scary because I look at it that she's going to be at a crossroad. That's where she's at right now, being at such a young age. And there's people in there to make these decisions for her, which is not right. Because these people that have that power to make decisions are choosing the power of evil, of greed, of profit. But she stands at this crossroad. Is she going to continue the fight just like her ancestors, her grandparents, her aunts and uncles, her mom, her older sisters, her cousins? Is she going to have to pick up the fight still? Because we know change doesn't happen that easy. Or is she going to have to look at the road and turn and think, what happened? Everything is gone that ties me to being Inne, being Apache. How do I pray? How do I continue my ceremonies? Because everything was ripped. All the natural resources that Mother Earth provides, that the indigenous people use in their ceremonies, in their prayers, because we believe that everything's alive, it has a spirit, is going to be gone. She will no longer be Apache. That's what I worry for those younger generations. So it's going to take all of us here to continue to educate and stand together as one drum, one prayer, one circle to defeat this evil, to defeat Resolution Copper coming in and destroying Mother Earth and a continued genocide on a religion. The US government choosing profit over moral values and to save humanity, to save a future so that our kids have a world to live in and have a world where they can be who they are and believe in the blessed gift that Dios and God has given them. I need you guys. We need you guys. Because what they did today shows that profit is winning. Evil is there. So please reach out. Talk to your congresspeople. Talk to the people. Let them know the world is watching and they're not going to stand for it. Like my sister said, we're sitting in a car on our spiritual convoy, taking all the prayers from not only the Apache people and being at Oak Flat, but from all people, our indigenous relatives that were coming into their territories, and our allies that are non-native, that believe in our fight, believe in the spirit, that whatever calls to them that to protect Oak Flat, that spirit is alive, and that's what we're praying for, and that's why they're with us. So continue to follow us, continue to go on our website, continue to reach out to your elected officials, because if we lose Oak Flat, that means that everybody's at stake. That means that Mother Earth will continue to be destroyed, that you will not be able to turn on your water. You will not be able to feed your kids. You will not be able to stand under a tree and feel the wind and the shelter and the cut of what it gives you. That means that your church, your religion is at stake. So please pray with us and pray for us. If you have any questions, and I know we didn't go into, okay. If you have any questions on, like I said, I didn't go, Leanne and I didn't go into what happened, with a foreign mining company that's owned by Rio Tinto and BHP, two big mining giants that are, okay, that is from British and Australia. It's gonna be a if they get the land, they're gonna drill 7,000 deep into the earth, push in chemicals to separate the copper ore and push out the copper. They said that this is the largest copper ore in North America. After an amount of time, our Oak Flat is gonna be it's gonna sink. It's gonna create this mile deep crater, as big as the Eiffel Tower. You can stick the Eiffel Tower inside this crater. All our aquifer will be contaminated. We talk about climate change. This is a huge climate issue. There's so many things that attach to this fight that will set the precedence for all people, not just the state of Arizona, not just the indigenous people, the Apache people, but for all people. So that's why we need to come together. That's why we need to put pressure on those elected officials to start making the right decision. So yeah, thank you.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for what you've brought us and the clarity of your vision. And we want to find ways to help. And I'm going to, first of all, to urge people to go to your website, which is in the chat, and make a donation, because we know it doesn't happen without money. And I'm going to turn it over to Nell and Reverend Beth to announce some actions that are planned for while you're in California. And thank you again for everything that you bring.
Thank you. Thank you so much to both of you. We've heard the conditions and the situation with Oak Flat. And hearing this news about the reconciliation bill is devastating, and our hearts are with you. Truly. In a moment, Nell will go over the actions in the Bay Area. What I want to reinforce for folks is there's no better call to action than what we've heard just now. So I'll reinforce the need for ongoing prayer, for making those calls. I had the opportunity to be in Oak Flat only once, and it still remains a life-changing experience. And so I want you to know that we're with you. Our call to action is exactly what you've said, for people to pray, to show up, to call their senators and their representatives. Just know that we are with you. For those of you who don't know, I'm Beth Johnson. I'm one of the quad chairs of the California Poor People's Campaign. I'm in Vista, North San Diego County, the land of the Luiseño and the Kumeyaay, and my heart is with you. Nell, will you let folks know the events that are happening? I love you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Reverend Beth, and thank you, Dr. Big Horse and Vanessa Noisy, for your powerful words and for the incredible fight that you're putting up, and for the reminder that you are fighting not only for yourselves, but for all of us. It's very important that we understand that we are connected, one drum, one prayer, one circle. So I want to invite all of you who are participating here to help us get the word out about this issue. It's really critical that people understand what is happening and that they join in this battle for Oak Flat. And so on Monday, the 18th, the Apache Stronghold is going to be at Stanford University. And so you can listen from 3 o'clock to a live broadcast there. There is, I'm going to share my screen so that we can take a look at this together. There is on Wednesday, the 20th, will be here in the Bay Area at 7th and Mission, which is outside the 9th Circuit Court. And there will be having a prayer and rally and protest and putting down a mural. And so we want to invite you to be in person there. On Thursday, the 21st, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, there is a day of prayer and a call for prayer from everyone, wherever they are. And then we'll be in person at the Civic Center, again, starting at 10 o'clock. And then on Friday, which is when the hearing is scheduled, we will be out at the Civic Center Plaza in San Francisco for a silent vigil and listening session. We'll actually be able to hear the proceedings as they are happening. And so we want to invite you to join us there. And if you are out of the area or can't attend for some other reason, the events will be live streamed at the Facebook page for Save Oak Flat, Arizona, and at the poorpeoplescampaign.org. And so we want to, invite you again also to donate, because anybody who's ever, been engaged in a legal battle, or even if you haven't, you have to know that that's an expensive undertaking, and it's really critical that we support in all the ways that we can. Thank you so much.
And thank you for that, Nell, my hand, Dr. Beth. And also just a quick thank you to our entire tech team, to the entire policy and education working group, to Faye Kennedy, Rose Goodell Escobar, also Nell Myhand, and Dr. and Reverend Beth, our quad chairs. here in California of the Poor People's Campaign. I also want to lift up Irene Montantes, who is part of the Poor People's Campaign here in California, part of our coordinating group, for connecting us and making sure Stephanie is with us for our opening and closing prayer. So we are running short of time, but we are all so moved, Vanessa and Dr. Leanne Big Horse, by what you have shared with us, what we have learned from you, and we are committed to stand with you, because in standing with you, we are standing for all Indigenous people and for our Mother, the Earth. Thank you. And I'd now like to thank all of you for being here and for carrying out this work. Listen up to the call to action. And now like to return to Stephanie Mushrush, who will close us off.
Maheshi again. So yes, I'm actually a citizen of the Washoe Nation of Northern Nevada in California. And yes, thank you so much for your time and prayers and energy for this very important spiritual movement to save Chichil Badagoteo Oak Flat. So I'll just be closing with prayer. I'm going to turn off my video, which is not what I feel comfortable doing.
Okay.
Check me yes, ni ngai wat di ala I to vangar. Uma angwi lagalamit megalam shamoy. Salamat po mahal kita. Thank you, Creator, for this time to take in all of this information and feel and understand the importance of this spiritual movement. Praying that we continue to be guided for our actions, our words, our intentions, our prayers, that we keep in mind all of our sacred sites and our sacred waters, thinking about Chichil Badagoteo Oak Flat, thinking about Thacker Pass in Northern Nevada, fighting a lithium mine, thinking about all of the different places that are fighting to protect the Grand Canyon, the Havasupai people, fighting to protect their sacred land there, and thinking of the folks on the front lines at Line 3 and all of the fights that are going on across Native country in the world to protect land and water and air. And also thinking about our lives as human beings, our lives, the lives of the animals and the plants and all of the living things. Praying for our relatives, the Apache Stronghold, to have safe travels and to be protected as they do this very important work. And just praying for protection and energy for us all to continue to do things in a good way, to continue to learn how to be a good relative, and to continue to pray, continue to feel our connection to your Son, to Creator, to Nintashu, to Nago-san, our Mother Earth, and just in thinking in gratitude, thankful for this moment. Oh, tinga.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so very much. For those of you who have questions, there are questions about who killed the bill, there are questions about other things people can do. Please remember to go to the Apache Stronghold website. Also, we will try to get some of those questions answered and post them on the California Poor People's Campaign Facebook page. So we are honoring the time of those who are on this spiritual caravan. They are on a packed schedule as they move towards Northern California. Again, thank you for taking your time to join us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Forward together, not one step back. Thank you.